I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 24/7 team selection for round 21. We take on Melbourne Sunday afternoon at the MCG. Andrew Mckay alongside me and Macca. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Lachie Henderson omitted for the last 3 games of the season. He's told you and management here at the Carlton Footy Club that he wants to be traded. It seems as though you guys were really left with no other option but to at least be given the opportunity to blood some more youngsters.
Yeah, certainly. We sat down with Lachie and his management the other day, and he said that he'd like to be traded at the end of the year, which left us in a bit of a vulnerable spot. So we decided it was the best thing for the club that we don't play him for the last 3 games. Really our feeling is on 2 fronts particularly. One, if he doesn't want to wear the jumper after 2:15, then we probably shouldn't afford him that opportunity during 2:15, for the rest of 2:15. And certainly, you know, we need to get the best possible trade we can for Lachie. We owe that to our members and supporters to get the best possible deal. We can't do that if he gets injured, and there's that risk of him getting injured in the senior team or even in the Northern Blues team. So we thought it was best that he sit out for the rest of the year. No doubt will be a big talking point during trade week. But let's get into the team to take on the Demons this Sunday afternoon. And we start across the back line with Zach Tui, Sam Rowe and Michael Jamieson to start at full back. The big question everyone will be asking, Macca, is whether or not Jamo gets the young superstar himself in Hogan. Yes, well, he's probably likely to. I mean, Jamo is considered probably one of our best key defenders. So, you know, young Hogan's been a very good player this year. He's only going to get better and better, which is a little bit scary. But Jamo will have to be at his best to keep him under control. I hope he's had a word to Patrick Cripps, because I reckon it's between Jesse Hogan and Patrick Cripps for the Rising Star. So there might be a bit of added pressure on Jamo this weekend. Let's go into our half-back line now, starting with Dylan Buckley, Matthew Dick on the other half-back flank, and Sam Doherty. Macca, certainly a best and fairest contender at Carlton this year. One that seems to go under the radar, but you can't fault him for his effort in doing his job. No, Sam's been fantastic this year. He's given his all, which is great. Obviously, he signed a long-term deal a number of months ago, so he's here to stay. He's bought into the program. He's got a vested interest in it now, and we see him here for many, many years to come. Always nice to see one commit to the navy blue jumper. To our midfielders now, and Cade Simpson having a pretty strong season, averaging 24 possessions. Andrew Carazzo and Mark Murphy. The captain can't be faulted again for his efforts. There's no doubt he'd be wearing a lot of the team's form on his shoulders. How has he coped with it over the last couple of weeks, and obviously coming back from the Gabba this week? Yeah, remarkably well. Certainly, as you say, he's shouldering a lot of the load at the moment. He's giving his all out on the ground, which is fantastic. Leading from the front, Murph, at this stage. So, yeah, can't fault him. He's having a great year. The remainder of our midfielders now. I mentioned Patrick Cripps a moment ago, averaging 23 possessions a match. I can't see Jesse Hogan beating him for the NAB Rising Star. I just can't see how it is. Matthew Cruiser and Ed Curnow, another who really goes under the radar. But we keep coming back to Patrick Cripps, and while Jesse Hogan is, I reckon, had some star-studded matches up forward, the fact of form from Patrick Cripps week in, week out for such a young player, I think, has been really impressive. You often see youngsters come in, give it a few glances during the year, but he's been able to do it on a regular basis. Yeah, I think you're right there. And you know, often these young players drift in and out of each game, either within the games or between games. So Patrick's been able to really win the contested ball and win the clearance on a regular basis, particularly the last probably 3 months. And I think some of his stoppage work has been excellent, even compared with the best stoppage players in the country. So, yeah, I'd be tipping him for the Rising Star, that's for sure. Well, we're in the same camp there, Macca. Let's go on to our half-forwards now, starting with Tom Bell. Blaine Boakhurst, who I'll ask you about in a moment, and Andreas Everett. Just on Blaine Boakhurst, a really solid last couple of weeks. Struggled to get into the side earlier in the year, but a few opportunities under John Barker. Again, is it something with Blaine to get that game time into him looking ahead to 2016? Yeah, certainly. We need to get some game time into him. He needs to adapt to the speed of the game and the physicality of the game. His game last year in Perth is a fair distance from what's expected at the senior level here in AFL. But no, he's building slowly. We've got high hopes for him to become a very good player in the future. It's just going to take some time.
Into our full forward line now to take on Melbourne Sunday afternoon at the MCG. Andrew Walker, he might be a veteran, still kicked 4 goals last week. Troy Menzel back in the side this week. And good to see Levi Casbolt return from that knee injury. That injury of Levi's, is it anything that could hamper him in the future or just a one-off?
Oh, well, if he... It's at no more risk than what he was last time. So he just stirred up his knee a couple of weeks ago. It just was a bit too sore to play last week. We actually thought he'd be out for a couple of weeks, but he's pulled up really well and it's looking good to play this week. And
it's an extended bench. The final teams to come out tomorrow night, you can get them on the Carlton website, but the extended bench to take on the Demons: David Allard, Nick Holman, Christian Jacks, Clem Smith, who's always really exciting to watch, Jason Tutt, Matthew Watson and Mark Wiley. With players like Clem Smith, I mentioned Blaine Boakhurst before, through these last 3 rounds, is it a matter of getting more game time into them, setting them up for their pre-season and into 2016 now?
Yeah, it's a real balance. You know, we'd love to get more game time into all these young boys, but they have to perform at the level as well, and they have to be performing at VFL level if they want to be put up into the senior team. So, you know, we don't want to gift games away, but we certainly, if the boys are deserving of a game, we certainly want to get as many games into them as possible.
Thanks, Mac. The players still have plenty to prove. 18th spot on the ladder, it's not all locked away yet. We'll see you on Sunday.